So I just watched the 2025 Fantastic Four yesterday at home, which means, of course, I waited until it was released on Amazon Prime, as any smart person would do, because now I own the freaking film. Instead of going to the movies and paying like around $60 for food and for the movie, um, now I own it and I can watch it anytime. I was watching it with my fam. I got some food that I prepaid for. Again, it would have cost way more watching it in theaters. And I get it. Oh, it's for the experience, bro. I get it. I get it. There's a vibe. But I argue that it's much better experience and a much better vibe watching at home, in a private setting with your family and eating whatever hell you want without having to walk all the way to the lobby to just get a drink, a refill. I walk two steps to the fridge and that's it. I'm done. But let's get into the movie. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. Uh, I'm gonna compare it to the early 2000 Fantastic Four with Jessica Alba and Chris Evans. If you haven't watched that movie, well, that's your fault. There's gonna be a whole lot of spoilers for sure, including some spoiler alert regarding this recent movie, Fantastic Four of the 2025. Here's the thing: they had this montage, right, with the Fantastic Four fighting these villains, right? They did a quick montage with the narrator, talking about the Fantastic Four and blah blah blah. I hated that. I mean, it was okay to have it in the film. What I hated about is the fact that they didn't just wait and allow them to fight a villain, any villain, for at least 3 minutes. It wouldn't take that long just to show off their powers. We know their powers, right? We all know their powers, whatever. But it would have been great to see it again. Like the thing. Demonstrating his almost equally powerful. Is he powerful as the Hulk? He can take punches from the Hulk. He went rounds with the Hulk. We know he's almost as powerful as the Hulk, and I would have loved to have seen it before he fought Galactus, right? I'm saying it like that. Again, I'm gonna compare it to the early 2000 movie of the Fantastic Four, where, for example, in the early movie, in that movie, they, the whole thing was there. Like, they went to space, there was an accident, the storm came that gave them powers, and they slowly but surely realize and discover they have these powers, right? But then there was a scene at the bridge where they saved people, and the thing, he managed to basically lift a freaking fire truck to save the firemen, right? And Sue Storm, she used her powers to save people at that scene. All of them did, right? It was a really good scene. I love that scene. They should have made a similar scene like that, but not a similar in a sense they're saving people, but a villain is involved. A class C villain. It doesn't have to be crazy, and have them fight that villain for like at least like 3 to 5 minutes. I would love to have that, but instead of that, they went straight to the main guy, the Galactus, and it's. Again, I mentioned that you showed the montage, but still, they should have gave like at least a brief setting with a different Class C villain, and then gradually going towards this great, the main villain, Galactus. So that was disappointing, to say the least, about that. Right. Another problem is Galactus himself. Right. Galactus. He's a very, very powerful being, right? One of the most powerful beings in the MCU. And he wanted this kid, Franklin Jr., or Franklin Richard, their child, right? So he could relieve him from this intense hunger for, eating worlds and stuff and planets. Here's the thing: why not just eat Pluto? Why not just eat? Well, Pluto's not a planet. Mars, a different, like, it doesn't have to be a planet that has life on it. It's just a quick side note to that. But anyway, going back to Galactus, really powerful being, right? But when they fought Galactus, it was like so freaking dumb, because in the early 2000 Fantastic Four, we see Reed Richard when he and the Thing, they had an issue, an altercation, and he wrapped around the Thing like multiple times, and he could have done even more. Like almost his stretch is like unlimited, almost, right? You could have done more, but when he was fighting Galactus, he was stretching him like this much. Obviously, he's a giant, so it's obviously way, the scale is way bigger. Point being is, it still wasn't as big as you think Reed can stretch. You know what I'm saying? And he was in pain. It's so upsetting to watch that. And the Thing, he's just bringing on this whole building down, right? But he really didn't. They didn't allow him to demonstrate his power for real. Like he went through walls, sure, and he lifted a crane or whatever the hell he lifted. That then he was slingshotted out of to space by Galactus, but he could have done more. For example, when he was shot to space, and then the Torch grabbed him and brought him back and told him, hey, say your phrase, say your thing. Oh, it's corroborating time. I don't know how to pronounce that word, honestly. His phrase, his say that he says all the time. It's corroborating time. I think that's how he says it. Then he bowls himself up and he hits Galactus, but it almost never didn't even phase Galactus as you would expect for him to phase, because he's coming straight out of space, right? He's coming all the way down to Galactus. You would think that Galactus would stumble a couple of feet back, but it's like almost didn't phase him at all. And the only thing, and I get it, because it was kind of like the center point that the mother, Sue Storm, was able to push, literally levitate almost Galactus and push him back all the way to the point where they're trying to, teleport him to a far, far away galaxy. And that's the strength of the mother, the care and the compassion for her son that he is trying to take from them. So that was great. It was a really good, thing, but still, like everything else, kind of disappointed. I love the fact that he had the Torch, able to control his fire instead of his fire burning his clothes and whatever. Like he was able to control it, which obviously, yeah, it's not like he's always wearing clothes that's fireproof. I don't think the clothes that he had on were fireproof, at least not the ones that's a uniform. They're just the regular casual clothes. But still, the fact that they didn't let it look like they made it similar to the cartoon or whatever. So I was okay with that. I thought that was a good idea, and the fact that he was able to just use his his rest of his body instead of his arm so he could carry the baby. Great idea. Going to the post credit where they had Mr. Doom come and play with the little kid, right? And as you know, maybe that you know this, I don't know if you know this or not, but they announced that there will be a Mr. Doom movie, and the villain would be played by the one and only, the greatest actor in the world. Not really, but he's a really good actor, Robert Downey Jr. I'm disappointed about that. A lot of people want that. I don't see the appeal. Like, he played Tony Stark. He did a great job as Iron Man. Leave it alone. Get a new actor. Like, he's Mr. Doom. He's still a part of that universe. Are you saying that it is Tony Stark as Mr. Doom in a different variant in a multiverse, like that he became Mr. Doom? Is that it? Because otherwise, bring in a different actor. Because Mr. Doom is a badass. So, like, you got to get somebody, and he's a specimen. Like, this guy is big in the comics. It's like he definitely looks. You know what I'm saying? He got some weight on him for sure. So the fact that he brought him, which I mean, no disrespect to Mr. Robert Downey Jr., he's old as fuck and he's skinny as shit. I mean, it's just not. It's not right. I don't think it is. I'm hoping they change that. Sure, they already announced, but I hope they change that and they realize how dumb that is. But anyway, in that post comics, Mr. Doom was there, And maybe here's an idea: they could make Mr. Doom, because the way the kid was, he showed his face to the kid and will let him play with him and touch his face. That he was, because it wasn't no words said. Like Mr. Doom did not speak in the post credits, so we don't really know what was he saying to the kid. But I'm saying this as an idea to let Mr. Doom, or Doctor Doom, I keep saying Mr. Doom, Doctor Doom be Franklin. Actually, Franklin from the future, because we know in one of the comics, I forgot which one, that Franklin comes back and sees his younger self to teach him about himself, and teach him how to control his powers. So that would be a great idea to have Doctor Doom actually be Frank Richard, from the future, from the distant future, trying to teach himself to control his powers and stuff. That would be a great idea. Overall, it was kind of bland. 2025 Superman was much better. They could have done so much. A lot of things that was on in the trailer was not added in, or there was they removed it. So that was also a bummer. But they could have done so much better things. Again, they could have allowed them at least fight a villain, an unknown villain, or a C-type villain for like a few minutes, 3-4 minutes, just to demonstrate their powers. The stretching of Reed, we know he's capable of stretching much more than that. Without feeling the pain that they showed in in the movie. So yeah, everything else when they went to space to face Galactus, all that was great. I loved it. The fact she gave birth on the ship when they were going subatomic. Was that right? No, as fast as the speed of light. That was a great scene too. I thought that was intense and funny, and kind of like, oh, what if that moment, like a what if moment for sure. But otherwise, it's kind of sad movie. Sad in the sense that it really did not reach the expectations that I thought it would. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe. Peace.